We've got stories, updates about lawsuits being filed directly from the Tennessee Attorney General's office about congressional redistricting. Reneau and Hullender square off in a candidate Q&A and have very different positions on key policies. We discovered that a bill expanding parental rights, uh, codifying state policy only to recognize two sexes, encouraging Tennessee schools to display the Ten Commandments, and a few other bills have been signed into law, along with the fact that rising property taxes are making it difficult for small businesses to compete and survive in Nashville. It's Brandon Lewis here with the TenCon Big 7. We're going to get right into these stories. Many of the most important items were covered when I spoke with Michael Yaffe, so if you missed that, go back into the podcast and check it out. Additionally, at the very end of the last Big 7 last week, I invited anyone who was a member of an organization that thought their organization might want to host a fundraiser for the Tennessee Conservative, essentially just giving us a place to have the event, providing the food, and trying to get a few people there. We'll try to chip in and do the rest. Please reach out. Brandon at TennesseeConservativeNews.com. And luckily, our good friend Steve Abramowitz reached out. And so we're meeting with him next week. So if you or your organization similarly believes that the work of the Tennessee Conservative is essential to keep grassroots groups in Tennessee informed as our biggest connecting organization for news and events, please do the same. You can also call us 423. Gosh, I don't even remember the number at the Tennessee Conservative. Better just email me, Brandon at TennesseeConservativeNews.com. Also, if you'd like to just chip in and support and help us as we build our funds back up, you can mail checks to P.O. Box 625, Signal Mountain, Tennessee 37377, or you can give at TennesseeConservativeNews.com. Hit that subscribe and support button. We appreciate it. Okay, so we got a little bit of a summary. And when I say a summary, like a 45, 50-page document in legalese. So I used AI to boil it down so I could tell you what's going on with all these lawsuits. Essentially, the new congressional map is subject to multiple lawsuits. And the state argues that two of those cases, Hale versus Lead and Sherman versus Hargett, should be handled together because they're challenging the same thing. Hale and Lee focuses mainly on timing, arguing that the map and the elections were too late in the 2026 cycle, could impact overseas voters and other things. Hargett versus Sherman, vice versa, focuses on races in Memphis, essentially saying that they're trying to disenfranchise black voters. And the state says the cases are related and that these folks shouldn't be judge shopping, but perhaps it should be seen by a three-judge panel. The bottom line is Tennessee's new congressional map is constitutional in the view of the AG, and they're going to take these cases to court. So, a little bit of an update for what it's worth. Next story. I was able to sit in on a debate between Michelle Reneau, and Tony Hullender. I appreciate both of them coming to the Signal Mountain Conservative Club. And, they both did a pretty good job. I think Reneau obviously was more concise. You can watch the video and got into the summary of what people care about a little bit quicker. But nonetheless, Renault basically said that illegal aliens should be deported whether they've had criminal activity or not. Hullender said we had to be careful. Maybe there were some ways that the industries who needed illegal immigrants the most, they could have a waiver or have some kind of process because there might be economic impacts. Otherwise, on abortion, Renault cited some things that we really need to do. Hullender said it would not be a high priority because he thinks we're doing okay. Renault argued that we're seeing more babies aborted through mail-in pills, and that's a big issue. On disenrolling illegal aliens from public schools, Renault was like, yeah, this is not what taxpayers should be paying for. This is also putting our children at a disadvantage. Hullender says he has problems with it because it sounds like it might hurt children, and he thinks it's unconstitutional. Of course, the Plyer versus Doe ruling, this legislation was basically set to challenge it. Vaccine requirements, Hullender's like, if you're in the military, you should probably have to have forced vaccination. Um, and he thinks that for like measles in school, there should be forced vaccination. Maybe if he dug down into some things, he might think it for other things too. I'm not sure. But Reneau's like, no, it's your body, it's your choice. On the Second Amendment, Reneau's stance was a lot stronger, pretty much being an absolutist. Not that it's just for defense, but it's our constitutionally enshrined right to throw off a tyrannical government. Hullender said that his stance on abortion and the Second Amendment is that they would not be high priorities on his list because he thinks we're doing okay, and that anytime something that enshrined our Second Amendment rights more thoroughly, that he would have to look at it at a case by case basis. So, while I thought they probably have some common ground, um, Reneau was very strong in her stances, and I think the audience saw it. So go look at the video, go look at the article, judge for yourself. Next story: a bill expanding parental rights is signed into law by the governor, and that's the one that essentially says legal guardians can look at your child's health care records, and that anything that happens other than minor procedures at a school must first get parental consent. Seems like common sense. That was signed into law. Tennessee legislation codifying state policy only has two genders. I don't think we need to explain that any further. Enshrined into law, signed by the governor. Bill encouraging schools to display the Ten Commandments also made it through, signed by the governor. And finally, small business owners up in Nashville, many of which have seen their property taxes go up by 45% in a single year. I mean, you put a line item expense on your P&L as a projection, and you think that's what it's going to be. And when it goes up by half again, especially if you're in a rent heavy business, boy, that hurts. One business owner said his property tax increased from 129,000 to 589,000. I mean, shouldn't they have some software when stuff like that happens to go, geez Louise, this can't possibly be right. And it's basically saying that a lot of these businesses in Nashville don't think if they can stay there if the property tax is just going to be unpredictable and extortionistic. Those are the stories. Guys, if you can help us with an organizational fundraiser, please do reach out. Brandon at TennesseeConservativeNews.com. We got a little program we're trying to put together. Something I probably should have done years ago. What's going on this weekend? Well, I don't know what we're doing tonight. I think we're just kind of laying low. And either Sunday or Saturday, one of my best friends is coming over, and we're going to hang out, maybe go do some hiking, get our families together. We'll go to church as the schedule allows this weekend, depending on when they come over. And I don't know, putts around the house. I got stuff to do. Might go down to the pool, lay out by the pool. It's going to be a pretty low key, I hope. Not too many events weekend. So, what's going on with you? I hope you have a bright, wonderful, sunny, beautiful Tennessee weekend. Until next time, it's old BL signing off. See you next week.